So let's be frank. You come home, your fluffy ball of fur is purring at your feet, rubbing against your slippers, and you're 100% sure that this is pure love. But what if I told you that's not the case? That your cat tolerates you? Yes, yes, you heard me right. And the whole secret lies in the details that we humans simply don't notice. Take a look. Seems like Merca is cozily curled up on the sofa, an idyllic picture. But then her tail suddenly comes to life, sliding across the cushion like a metronome. You think, oh, how cute, she's happy. And at that very moment, she's thinking, one more step with that stupid camera and my claws will become your most vivid memory this week. And this is the biggest mistake of almost all owners. We anthropomorphize them. But the language of cats isn't about words. It's a whole universe of hidden signals. It's advanced mathematics made of barely perceptible ear movements, tension in their posture, a quiver in the tip of the tail, and a gaze that can say more than any phrase.
Here's a fact that will flip your understanding. Many are sure if a cat is swishing its tail, it's playing. You know, like a dog, right? Absolutely not. For a cat, this is a clear, straightforward signal of irritation, impatience, even a warning. It's her way of saying, back off, I'm uncomfortable, I'm on edge. And if you ignore it, well, you know how it ends, with a sudden attack on your hand, which you thought was a friendly gesture. And the tail is just the tip of the iceberg. Their body language is incredibly rich. They talk to us through hearing, through every turn of the ear that picks up the slightest changes in our mood. They conduct a dialogue with their gaze. A slow blink is I love you, while a direct, unblinking stare is already a challenge and a threat. And the most interesting thing, how do you decipher this secret code? How do you finally understand what your pet is truly feeling? Because once you crack it, your relationship will reach a whole new level. All about that right in the next part of the video. We'll break down every signal, from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. I promise you'll learn things about your cat you never even guessed. Stay tuned.
So, we've already established that our love for cats is often blind. We see what we want to see. But let's move on to the most important part, to those moments when your cat is practically screaming about her discomfort and you still think she's just in a playful mood. And it all starts with the tail. You're petting your cat. Seems like everything's fine, she's lying down, purring, but you notice that the tip of her tail, it's not lying still. It starts to twitch, at first barely noticeable, almost elegantly. So remember this once and for all. This is not playfulness. This is the first, most subtle signal of irritation. It's her way of saying, okay, I'm still tolerating this, but my patience isn't limitless.
And here lies the biggest secret, one that few know. Pay attention not just to the movement, but to its amplitude. The stronger, wider these swishes are, the higher her level of displeasure. This is no longer just annoyed. This is I'm on edge, get away immediately. And there's something even trickier. You see the tail moving not just side to side, but in strange, almost snake-like spinal waves. This isn't just irritation. This is a precursor to an attack. This is the highest stage of boiling over. There's a perfect joke about this online. If a cat is waving its tail, it's like a wife with a frying pan. Hasn't hit you yet, but it's getting there. And that's 100% true. At this moment, the cat is still thinking it over. She's weighing the pros and cons. Is it worth using my claws, or can this big hairless monkey still stop? And this is your last chance, your golden moment to prevent a conflict, simply by stopping and giving her space. But the tail is only half the story. The tension never limits itself to just the tail. If you look closely, her whole body becomes different. The muscles in her back and legs tense up. She becomes like a compressed spring. She's no longer lying relaxed. She's frozen, waiting. This is the very posture that screams readiness for a fight.
And you know what's the most frustrating part? We humans most often miss all these signals, all these yellow cards she's showing us. And then we're surprised, ooh,
Why did she suddenly scratch me? For no reason at all. Believe me, it's never for no reason. You just didn't hear her quiet scream. And if you think that's all, you're sorely mistaken. Because the tail and body are just the top level. The most important, most eloquent stuff is hidden in her face, in the eyes, the ears, in those muscles we don't even notice. And that's exactly what we'll talk about right after a short break. You'll learn how to decipher the most hidden language, the language of a cat's gaze. I promise, after this, you'll look at your cat with completely different eyes. Don't go away, it's gonna be terribly interesting.
So, we've learned to see the tension in the body and read the secret signals of the tail. Seems like you're almost an expert. But these are just letters. The main, most honest dictionary of cat emotions is written in their eyes. Yes, that's where the final and absolute truth about what's really going on in your predator's head is hidden. You catch her gaze, deep, bottomless eyes, black, pupils dilated to the very edge like two windows into emptiness. For a second you think, oh, what delight, she's so engrossed in play. But the next second, a paw with 5 sharp razor-like claws is already flying towards your hand, and you're perplexed. But why? She was so sweet. And all because you misread the message. Dilated pupils mean excitement, yes, but what kind? It could be the thrill of the game, and panicked fear, or even concentrated aggression. To understand, you need to see the whole picture.
But constricted pupils, like slits in bright light, that's a whole different level. This isn't just concentration, this is cold, calculated aggression, the hunting instinct in its purest form. This is the gaze of a killer who has already chosen its victim and is just calculating the trajectory of the jump. And here we come to the most important thing, the thing that will radically change your relationship. Did you know you can talk to cats with your eyes? Yes, it's not a joke. There's one magical gesture that in their language means pure friendliness and complete trust. It's the slow blink. You catch her gaze, and you slowly, very slowly close your eyes and open them. This is her equivalent of a tender smile and a hug. It's the language of love she speaks. And the opposite, a direct, unblinking, intense stare in her world, is a pure challenge. It's an act of aggression and dominance. It's what rivals do before a fight. So if you just stare at your cat thinking how beautiful she is, she will be sincerely preparing for battle.
It's no wonder that in ancient times, people attributed hypnotic abilities to a cat's gaze, considering it witchcraft. In a way, they're right. That gaze is mesmerizing. But the magic here isn't mystical. It's completely real. The magic of nonverbal communication, which we've forgotten how to understand. But that's not all, because the eyes are only part of the puzzle. To get the full picture, to learn to read her mood unmistakably, you need to connect the ears. Yes, those very mobile locators that turn almost 180 degrees. We'll talk about them and about the most deceptive cat sound, purring, next. You'll find out why purring is far from always a sign of happiness, and how to tell the sound of pleasure from the sound of severe pain. It will shock you. Stay with me. Don't switch off.
All right, we've covered the tail, the body, and that hypnotizing gaze. Seems like we know everything about cats? Not quite. There's one more detail that many don't notice at all, yet it shouts about their mood louder than any meow. These are the ears. Yes, those very mobile, velvety locators on your predator's head. Look, you're playing with your cat, everything seems fine, but suddenly her ears, which were just alertly catching every sound, start to change. They don't just move, they live their own separate life. And this is the most accurate emotional radar you can imagine. Imagine a boxer in the ring. He sees his opponent's attack, raises his hands, puts up a block, and waits for the blow to counterattack instantly. This is exactly how your cat behaves when she suddenly flattens her ears against her head. This isn't just she's not in the mood. This is instinctive protection. She's literally preparing for a strike, protecting the most vulnerable parts, her ears, from injury. It's a 100% signal, I feel threatened and I'm ready to fight.
But that's not all. There's a more subtle and cunning signal. When the ears aren't completely flat, but rather tilted out to the sides, like little airplanes. You know what that means? It's strategy. This is how the cat tries to appear bigger and wider to her opponent visually. It's an ancient intimidation instinct. She's saying, "Look how huge and scary I am. Better not mess with me." And you know the coolest part? At this very moment, while demonstrating all this range of emotions with her ears, she simultaneously keeps listening. Every movement of the pinna is a jeweler-precise adjustment of sound direction. She's literally scanning the enemy, his mood, his next move by ear. It's genius. There's a funny joke among breeders, by the way, that if a cat holds her ears airplane style, she's transmitting an urgent message on the airwaves. Of course, it's a joke, but in a way, it reflects the essence. A cat's ears are a powerful communication device that we simply must learn to read. And now, putting it all together, the language of the tail, body tension, the secrets of the gaze, and this emotional radar, the ears, you get almost the complete picture. You transform from a blind owner into a genuine telepath who understands their cat without words.
So we've read the language of her body from the tip of the tail to the very ears. Seems like that's all. But no, there's one more communication channel that we humans are worse at interpreting. These are sounds. Because a cat's meow isn't just a monotonous sound. It's a whole spectrum of messages, from a gentle greeting to an ultimatum. It's high-level diplomacy using voice. Imagine a classic situation. You're petting your cat, she's purring, all is good. But then her meow changes. First, it was a soft, high-pitched meow, then another one but lower baritone, and then a sudden, sharp hiss is heard, like steam released from a boiler. And that's when you understand it's over. Negotiations are closed, and attack is inevitable. But here's the most important thing. This hissing is not the start of a fight. It's the last desperate warning. It's her way of saying, I've already shown you with my tail, eyes, and ears that I don't like this. You didn't get it? So now listen to my voice. Back off. This is the red traffic light. After it, there will only be a claw in your hand.
And there's an even more serious sound. Growling. Yes, cats can growl. They just do it much less often. It's more the prerogative of large toms, especially outdoors when they're dividing territory. This is no longer a warning. This is a declaration of war. It's a low vibrational sound coming from the very throat, which means one thing. I won't warn you. I will attack. But the most cunning and insidious sound is that very ordinary meow it all starts with. Do you know why it so effectively grabs our attention? Zoologists have discovered an amazing thing. The high-frequency call of a cat, its demanding meow on certain frequencies, coincides with the cry of a human infant. Our brain is programmed to react to this sound instantly, on an instinctive level. She literally evolved to press our buttons. It's genius-level manipulation, perfected over thousands of years of living with us. She isn't just asking. She's using a sound we physically cannot ignore. And this proves how finely they've studied us, while we are only beginning to comprehend their language. And so we approach the climax, the moment when all the subtle hints, all the warnings with the tail, ears, and even hissing are left behind. The cat realizes she isn't being heard, and then she stops warning. She starts showing. This is no longer the language of hints. This is an open demonstration of strength, the final act of the drama before deploying the claws.
You might have seen this, perhaps at night, through the window when a shadow of the neighbor's cat suddenly pounces on your pet. And at that moment, a metamorphosis occurs. Your fluffy, cozy ball literally transforms before your eyes into something else. Its back arches into a high, tense arc. It becomes visually larger, more monumental. And you know what's most interesting? This isn't just a pose. It's the most ancient instinct. The arc pose is designed to solve one task, to increase the visual size of the animal to scare the opponent. It's a pure bluff, but what an effective one. And its main ally in this is the fur. It stands on end all over the back and even on the tail, creating the illusion of a huge, ferocious beast.
And no, the fur doesn't rise of its own free will. Tiny but powerful erector muscles are behind this. It's an involuntary reaction controlled by adrenaline, the same one we have when we get goosebumps from fear or cold. Only for a cat, it's a formidable weapon of psychological warfare. A breeder's joke is more accurate than ever here. Everyone thinks their kitty is a fluffy angel, until one night this angel turns into a disheveled little panther. That's exactly right. But that's not all. Some cats, especially those with street fighting experience, use even more advanced intimidation techniques. For example, sideways kicks or sharp jumps with a half turn. This isn't an attack. It's a demonstration of agility, strength, and readiness to use them at any moment. It's a war dance that means only one thing. I'm not joking. I'm ready to fight. This is your last chance to back off. The interpretation here is one and it's final. These are no longer requests or warnings. This is an ultimatum. The cat is fully prepared to use force. Any movement of yours forward will be interpreted as a declaration of war. It seems this is it, the peak, the apex of feline anger. But I will surprise you again, because the main, most shocking secret is hidden not in anger, but in purring. Yes, that very sound we consider a symbol of love and utter happiness. Why would a wounded, scared-to-death cat purr loudly? And how can this sound be not a cry of joy, but a distress signal? The answer, which will turn everything upside down, is at the very end. Don't switch off. It will change your idea of your pet forever.
And so we've come to the biggest myth, the greatest misconception about cats, the one we blindly believe in. We've been through all the stages, from slight tail irritation to full combat readiness with an arched back. Seems like we've learned it all, but I saved the most shocking fact for last. Ready? Purring is far from always a sound of happiness. Moreover, sometimes it can be a sound of panic, pain, or even a cry for help. Yes, you heard me right. That very cozy, lulling sound we fall asleep to is, for a cat, a universal tool of communication and self-healing. Scientists still haven't fully unraveled the mechanism of purring, but one of the main theories states, low-frequency vibrations help cats calm themselves in a state of severe stress.
Imagine a situation. Your cat is being taken in a carrier to the vet. She's all tense, her eyes wide with fear, her body clenched into a ball. And suddenly, you hear it, loud, obsessive purring. You think, oh, look how happy she is. But in reality, she's telling you, I'm so scared, I'm so frightened that I need to calm myself down. She isn't happy. She's engaging in self-soothing, trying to drown out her own terror with these vibrations. It's the same mechanism as a person humming to themselves when walking down a dark street. It's an attempt to create an illusion of safety where there is none. But that's not all. Purring also has a real therapeutic effect. The frequency of these vibrations, from 25 to 150 Hz, is considered healing. It promotes the healing of fractures, bone growth, and tissue repair. So when a cat purrs, lying on the couch with you after a hard day, she's not only showing pleasure, but also simply repairing her body. It's like a built-in physiotherapy device.
So it turns out purring is a multi-layered, complex language. How do you tell the purr of pleasure from the purr of pain or fear? It's all about context and the details. Pay attention to the posture. A relaxed, soft body, half-closed eyes, and a quiet, rhythmic purr, that's love. But if the purring is loud, obsessive, almost hysterical, and at the same time the cat's body is tense, ears are flat, and her gaze is fixed on emptiness, that's a red flag. It's a distress signal. So next time you hear this sound, don't jump to conclusions. Take a closer look. Use your intuition and the knowledge we've gone over together. You now know more about cats than 99% of owners on the planet.
You've completed the full beginner's course on deciphering the cat language. From the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. From a gentle meow to a life-saving purr. And you know what? It's time to test this knowledge in practice. Right now, go up to your cat. Just be careful. Remember all our lessons. Read her posture, her gaze, the position of her ears. You might see her in a completely new light. And be sure to share your discoveries in the comments. I'm incredibly interested in what secrets you've managed to uncover. And if you want your friends to finally understand what their pet is trying to tell them, like this video and share it. Let's shatter the myth of feline cunning together and become true friends to our tailed neighbors on this planet. This was cat psychologist Alex. Until next time in a new video where we'll continue to break down animal language.